You don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little, expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. Get addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want to invite and bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clock in. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn it back until you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table.
You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Hey, welcome to the hood table, y'all. One more again, we up in this piece, up in this joint, and I am so excited to get started on our review of the series called Ruthless, which is a new TV show series, and it's on BET Plus. Not BET, but BET Plus. So you do have to install the app to get the BET Plus. You can get it on your phone, on your iPad, on your smart TV. Right now, well, I don't know if it's just right now or if it's always, where you can get 1 week free trial. But you can get a week trial. And then after that, if you want to keep it, it's $9.99 a month. So just like some of the other apps, like the, different TV shows, HBO, Showtime, Disney, if you want that app, it's $9.99, but not until after your first week free trial. And so far, you guys, I didn't watch episode 1 through 3. And I'm going to do each review of each episode individually. So that'll be 3 different videos. And then once each episode comes out, of course, I'll watch it and check it out and come back to you guys with my review. And you guys can always let me know what you think about the review. But for this first episode, the very first episode of the first season, I'm going to give you a little detailed information about the background of the information, who some of the stars are, just for this first review, only because the show is brand new. So anywho, it's called Ruthless, and it's by Tyler Perry, and it's basically a spinoff of The Oval. For some of y'all who might be fans of The Oval by Tyler Perry, this is a spinoff of the TV show called The Oval. This is a religious cult drama, and I do not recommend children watching this show because it is some very graphic imaging, graphic language, people with their clothes off, and abuse, and it's a lot of crazy cult activity on this TV show. So again, I do not recommend this to younger viewers. So just want to get that out there first of all. But The Oval, which was proven to be such a success with BET, they thought that, the network thought that they should do a spinoff because of how successful The Oval was. So the Ruthless is starring Melissa L. Williams as Ruth. And you might remember her from Tyler Perry's film called Daddy's Little Girl. You might remember her now. I mean, you might not remember her or you might remember her because she was an extra. She was an extra on the show. So, you know how extras are. You might remember me, you might not. But anyway, she was just an extra on that show. And then she went later on to appear on the Tyler Perry show called The Oval. And on The Oval, Ruth is the mother of Callie, a young cute little girl who is in the custody of Ruth's ex-husband Barry, who is the son of a White House employee. Now, in a moment of desperation, as Ruth, was yearning for her child, longing for her child to be back and reunited with her child, she went ahead and she kidnapped Callie with the help of a fellow Ragadooshi cult member named Tally, and they disappeared. Now, I've been practicing this word, y'all. Still messing up. Ragadooshi is the name of the cult and the cult members. They are led by this guy named The Highest, who is a crazy psychopath, a crazy sex-crazed psychopath. His real name is Louise Tyrone Lucky. But he goes by the highest, inside this cult. He had previously went to prison for armed robbery and murder, and then when he was in prison, he started asking to be called the highest, or calling himself the highest, like he thinks he's the second coming of the Lord. And so when he got out, he started up this cult. Now, another person starring in this TV show is Jamie Calica, and he appeared in films like Luther, so you might recognize him. He plays Brian Rollins. He's a family man. He's all about his country and his community. He's married. He's also an FBI agent, and he has just been presented the biggest case of his career by his boss, Mac, which is the head of the FBI, of their department. Now, Jamie, he is going to be assigned at a school in Virginia where they need him to he's going to be assigned, his wife is going to be assigned at a school in Virginia. That's what the plan was, for his wife to go move up there with him to where this cult is, and she was going to be working at a school because she is a school teacher. He's supposed to be working as a deputy in the police station up there. We're going to see how that all works out, because from watching episodes 1 through 3, we ain't quite got to them job positions yet, them undercover job positions yet for him. But anywho, his wife isn't happy about the move. Evidently, they move a lot. Every time he gets assigned to a different case, like undercover, they have to uproot themselves and they have to move, and she's sick and tired of it. And by the way, the code is in Rockwell, Virginia. Now, the reason why Jamie, aka Brian, was assigned this case is because there's another FBI agent who was actually undercover in the cult, but he done went silent on them. He started doing the undercover job 3 months ago, and he hasn't been heard from for 3 weeks. His wife is concerned. The FBI department is concerned. And so they're trying to send Brian up there to find out what's going on, to see if he's been converted, if he's been killed, what's going on. And on top of that, they had an informant up there also at the cult, and he then went missing. They are assuming that he has probably been murdered, because they haven't heard from him as well. The thing about this cult, they have a lot of children there. They do sex trafficking with children and women. They storing up a lot of ammunition, a lot of guns and stuff like that, and they're doing drug trafficking as well. So they really need to bust up this cult. So that's just a little information, a little background about a few of the characters, like the main characters, and about the storyline. So let's get started on this review. Season 1, episode 1, called The Pilot of Ruthless. So now, this guy, the highest, remember, he had went to prison. He had, started in prison calling himself the highest. I don't know if he really thinks he's the second coming of God, or if he's just doing this because he wants to have power over people. So, some people want to have power over people. Then some people really believe that they are the one, that they are the chosen one. So anyway, in the middle of the night, it starts off in the middle of the night. Brian and his wife, Lynn, they getting it in the bedroom. He gets a call from his superior, Mac, who's saying he's at the front door and he needs to speak to him. His superior, Mac, which is the head of the FBI, he comes in and he tells him they have a problem. He explains to them that one of their agents has either gone rogue, he's either been converted, he's either been killed, because they don't know what's going on. They haven't heard from him in 3 weeks. He had went undercover to do surveillance on the Ragadushi cult, and then he went silent. So they don't know if he can't speak, for the sake of safety, or if he's been converted. So they asked Brian to go undercover. Brian is one of their top agents, one of their best agents, and Mac thinks that he's the perfect one to get sent up there. But of course, Brian's wife, Lynn, who is a teacher, she's furious because, again, every time they go somewhere, settle down, she finds an absolutely fantastic teacher job. Then they have to get up and go somewhere and move to another job. just uproot themselves and go with the flow. So she's like, I'm tired of going with the flow. I'm tired of jumping up and leaving. I'm tired of getting great jobs and meeting great kids and, coworkers. And then we have to leave. So she's like, okay, I ain't going. They like, but there's a position up there. They need a teacher. You can still teach. You can still do what you love. But, even though she has a passion for teaching, she still is like refusing to leave. But then, her husband, Brian, he tried to make her understand the importance of him taking this job. He tries to tell her about the kids being trafficked, the drugs being trafficked. He just feels the need that he has to take on this big assignment. And he's going to be undercover as a deputy at the local police department up there. She sleeps on it. The next morning, she has a change of heart. She's like looking through her husband's files, and I guess she sees all the pictures of all the missing girls, missing women, because there's a lot of them that's been missing, and a lot of their families have found some of them at the cult. But the cult members, they have the ladies like do short videos saying they're safe, saying they're okay, they're happy where they are, stop worrying, stop panicking. You know how I go. So anyway, she finally realizes that the kids in this cult needs a way out, needs to be rescued from child trafficking. Brian, she tells her husband, Brian, okay, I'll do it. I'll go up there. I'll move and everything with you so you can take this job and try to rescue these women, but only if I can get in there. And he's like, what you mean get in there? You gonna be a teacher, woman? No, she wants to be in the compound with the coach. She wants to be doing surveillance on there. She wants to be close to the children and everything so she can try to protect the children and help him rescue them. He's like, heck no, you might be an ex-Marine. You might be an ex-Marine, but I don't want you to do that. So he tells her no and everything. And he's thinking, he didn't got through to her. She's not going to go up there and try to, move into the compound with the coat. But she has something else in mind. One thing about the show that you'll notice right away, immediately at the beginning of the show, you can tell how ruthless, that is the title of the show. You can tell how ruthless the men are in the cult towards women. By just speaking out a term or without being given permission to speak, you can get the snot pushed out of you. Did y'all see Dekmon hit Tally? He hit her so hard for sticking up for Ruth Child, who insists that they take her back to live with her father. Ruth Child, who she didn't kidnap with the help of Tally and some of the other cult members. She's up there crying and screaming, I want to go back to my daddy. Take me back to my daddy. They like the highest. He is now your father. No, that man ain't my daddy. You ain't my daddy. Ain't my daddy. That little girl is so cute, but she was going off. She was flipping out. And so Tally was like, she's just a little girl. She's scared. She's just a little girl. Man, they kind of must have smacked the taste out of her mouth for just sticking up for that child. She couldn't even control the car after that. And they ended up going off the side of the road. Then ran smack dab into the tree. And then once they get out, he forced her to find other modes of transportation. They had to steal a truck from this white couple nearby. And as soon as they finally got to the cult site, the little girl is handed off to some other women in the cult. The women have put some sort of, the kids are like in some sort of barracks. There's a lot of beds there, not like real beds, but like it looks like they in jail or something. And they have like these mattresses, these thin mattresses that they sleep on and everything. They got beds lined up on both sides of the wall. All these kids is in there like in cots. That's what they look like, cots instead of beds. But the mother of the child, whose name again is Rue, she has totally been brainwashed into thinking that the women are supposed to be submissive to the highest and to the men under the highest. So she was telling Tally, who, got smacked by Dickon, that she basically deserved it for talking out of turn. She was like, what you're supposed to do here. Right from wrong. Not to be disobedient. You taught me. She's like, you taught me. But then come to find out those two had actually been brought to the cult together. They had actually been, picked up from off the streets. They were, drug addicts. They were prostitutes. So Ruth, she feels as if they owe the cult everything for rescuing them. And Tally did feel the same way. But as you see, Tally eventually had a change of heart. We also find out that Tally, against the wishes of the highest, she's having a relationship with Andrew. Andrew is the guy that went undercover, in the cult to try to do surveillance and find out everything that they're doing on and take it back to the FBI. He's the one that, they're concerned about because he hasn't been able to make contact for 3 weeks. Him and Tally done started some type of undercover relationship. They've been knocking the boots, and Tally done missed her period. Now this is not good. This is not good at all. In a time when they should be excited about having a baby, this is not good at all because they are not supposed to be messing around. And I don't know how they're going to cover up that relationship because in the beginning, when Andrew told Daikon that he was anxious, for his cleansing that all cult members go through that have been chosen for the cleansing, he claims he's ready for his cleansing. He don't quite know what the cleansing is, but he thinks it's a good thing. There's men there, there's women there. Eventually, he's thinking he's going to be, set up with a mate. That's usually what happens in these cults. You get a woman, y'all have kids, or you might get several women and they have kids. But anyway, he expresses his sexual desires are growing stronger and he don't know how to handle it. Daikon told him, "Oh, you'll be okay." You'll be all right after you receive your cleansing from the highest. And Andrew was like, well, how do I know if I'm going to get cleansed? How do I know if I'm going to get chosen? What do I need to do to make sure I get cleansed? He was like, oh, you good. I done already recommended you get your cleansing. So you will be cleansed. But I was like confused. Like Daikon said, sex is not a right. It's a gift. And the longer Andrew restrains, himself, the more powerful his cleanse be. And I'm like, what is this cleansing ritual? Daikon said that he has been cleansed himself by the highest. He said it was beautiful. It was a wonderful feeling. He felt so free afterwards. He hasn't been the same ever since. And the highest doesn't cleanse everyone, only the chosen. You have to be called by the highest. Like I said, you have to be chose, you have to be chose, you have to be called, you have to be recommended. But Daikon, he refused to tell Andrew what the cleansing was all about, what it all involved. And I had a feeling right there that it was something sexual that the highest is doing to the men that he has chosen to cleanse. Did y'all have that same feeling? I mean, especially when Daikon told him, you can't trust women. Don't trust these women. You can't talk to these women. You can't tell them stuff. And do not violate the pure. Andrew was confused, like, who is the pure? How I know who the pure is if nobody tells me who the pure is? And he said, oh, you don't know. And I'm thinking, is the pure the children? Is the pure the women? Is the pure the virgins? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But anywho, Tally, after being disobedient, she has been summoned by the highest. They ended up punishing her because she was being disobedient. She was speaking out of turn on the Daikon. They punished her by making her do all the cleaning. She has to stay up all night and doing all the cleaning. And then next thing we see is Brian's wife, Lynn. She approaches the cult campgrounds. I told y'all she had another idea. He told her he didn't want her to do it. Like, you an ex-Marine and everything. You might be strong. You might be very smart and brilliant, but you do not need to be going up to that cult. She done took off, went behind her husband's back, and went to that doggone cult. And then for her to get inside of the compound, when Andrew approached her, and asked her, why are you here? Who are you? Who sent you? She claims 2 women that she saw at a grocery store dressed up in like purple robes told her that she needs to come to this place because she was trying to escape from her abusive husband. But then when Andrew tries to introduce her to the highest, she immediately looks afraid. She looks fearful of meeting him. And he's like, I thought you wanted to meet the highest. And she's like, yeah, yeah, I do. She tried to play it off. She really tried. She tried it. She tried to play it off. But then Andrew, it looked like he could see right through her. Like he knew that something wasn't right with her. She couldn't remember what day she saw the ladies, the name of the stove, what stove, where the stove was. All she remembered was it was two ladies in purple robes. He was like, well, how'd you get to the compound? She said she followed the ladies back to the compound. He's like, oh, they didn't realize it. She's like, no, they didn't realize it. I just followed the ladies to the compound. I was like, child, you was in the Marines. You married to an FBI agent and you couldn't come up with a better story than that. He saw right through him. And the camp is surrounded by all these armed guards. And I'm like, you need to get your storyline together for they kill you, woman. But then Andrew, he was like, he took her into this room, and I guess he was trying to get her to meet the highest. And he said, you look thirsty. You wearing jogging clothes? Have you been working out? Did you run here? You sure you drove here? Did you run here? You got on jogging clothes? She's like, yeah, I jogged here, but I'm not thirsty. He was like, how about a drink? Next thing you know, these two men come in with a cup of something and force it down her throat. I'm like, don't drink the Kool-Aid, Lynn. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, sis. But she couldn't help herself. She had one guy holding this arm, one guy holding this arm, and then she had Andrew in front of her with this tall glass of, I don't know, something. I knew it wasn't water. It wasn't coffee. It wasn't tea. It was Kool-Aid. You know, that special Kool-Aid, the same kind of Kool-Aid that Jim Jones had gave his cult members right before they all died. He gave them all that poison Kool-Aid to kill all of them, talking about we going home to glory. This is what God wants us to do. I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not that naive. But anywho, y'all tell me what y'all thought of the show thus far, and let me know, what you think of the certain different characters, the storyline. Did Tyler Perry do a good job with this first episode? Y'all need to let me know. I had to watch it because I had to find out what all the hype was from all the previews. There's a lot of people out here that was doing previews of the show, and I was like, I need to check this show out because of the fact that they said it's totally to the left of everything he has written and produced so far. So far I'm enjoying it, y'all. So y'all stay tuned because I will be back with my review of season 1, episode 2. And in the meantime and in between time, my primetime TV squad and the Hood Table squad, stay safe, be blessed, stay healthy with this crazy coronavirus going around as well. I'm out. Deuces.